Good morning, welcome back to another video, and today is another day of the 0 to gold cap challenge. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. So leaving off from what we actually did the other day, basically we started doing our inscription once again, and today we are going to be starting off by doing the gold for the day, and that is a healthy 208,568 gold. Obviously we invested like 10 ton of gold into this, but seriously, it is definitely worth it. Especially one thing of note, which the Tome of the Quiet Mind, it sells for mega gold for some reason, and I don't understand it. But if it makes a good profit, it's like double the profits. Make basically double the amount you invest. So it's a brilliant way in order to sell stuff. And if you actually do it on the evening time, I would say roughly around about 5 to 7, just constantly double checking, like a raid night posted, it will actually provide you with a hefty amount of gold. So that being the case, let's get into the items of note, which are 482 Ajara's Veil, which we found out the other day, 9,178 of those. 9,178 gold for that, for a stack of 482. The next thing of note is Tome of the Quiet Mind, 261 of them for 37,205. I crafted 1,000. So anyways, the next thing of note is I actually just created maroon ink using the flipping module on Worth It, and we actually started producing a hefty amount of return on this, because at the present time the Xenanthid was like a few hundred gold for every stack of 200 of Xenanthid, and for maroon ink that's pretty damn awesome. And the maroon ink is 705 of those for 28,140 gold. The next thing of note is the Tome of the Tranquil Mind. So that one's the Legion one, I think. And that is 100 of those, because I only crafted 100, for 17,025 gold. That's basically double as well on the profit. So basically the tomes are a brilliant way in order to double down on, because they sell pretty damn fast. The next thing of note that I would like to say is one of our Transmog items sold that we used for crafting with our tailoring, and that is the Sunfire hand wraps, and that is for 33,096 gold. Whoever says Transmog doesn't sell, it does sell. It just takes a long time to sell. 33,000 gold, and if I remember right, the Sunfire stuff cost me about 5,000 gold to make, so we've made a really nice return on that. The next things of note is Eternal Fire, which we use the Frozen Orb flip, 134 of those for 10,949 gold. The other thing of note is a Tome of the Quiet Mind, 30 of those for 4,347 gold, and 2 Highborn Compendiums of Sundering for 4,287 gold respectively. This is a really good pull for the last couple of days. So War Scrolls of Fortitude, 38 of those for 5,412 gold. Monolite Ore, 232 of these for 1,972 gold. Eternal Life, 200 for 12,367 gold. The War Scroll of Intellect, 69 of those for 8,193 gold. And Osmanite Ore, 116 of those for 2,066 gold. Along with more War Scrolls of Fortitude, 10 of those for 1,424 gold. Cobra Scales, we actually sold some Cobra Scales, 10 of those for 1,871 gold. And the last few items of note, we have a lot of items of note. War Scroll of Fortitude, once again, 49 of those for 6,979 gold. Storm Silver Ore, 139 of those for 1,719 gold. And also Sage Agate, 30 of those for 5,674 gold, along with Akunda's Bite, 17 of those, 84 gold, I read that wrong. War Scroll of Intellect, however, 26 of those for 3,223 gold, and Stormvine, 197 of those for 1,033 gold. So overall, last few days, pretty damn awesome. We've made 208,568 gold. Let's pull all of that gold into our bags. We've invested a 10 ton of gold into our inscription, and it is definitely paying off at the moment. Inscription is definitely something you need to double down on all the time. If you do I do intend on getting hold of some of the Vantis runes, mainly the one for the Eternal Palace and also the Vantis rune for Nyalotha, because those ones are still going to be selling pretty fast. The Battle to Desire Law one is not going to sell that well. All of the other ones aren't really going to sell that much. But we're back up to 726,958 gold. And the overall, Inscription is doing really bloody well. I'm loving how good it is at the moment. We've sold a piece of Transmog, actually. Low end, but we've sold a piece of Transmog. We still have 1,490,000 gold's worth of stuff on the auction house, and we still have a lot of glyphs on the auction house as well. We're using the Radiate Pigment flip in order to get a hold of all of our different things. So that being the case, let's do our bag of anchors for the day while we're still talking. And just going to go through all of my different bits, because we have 6 alchemists who do the bag of anchors every day, and it procs on average it's about 10, but sometimes you can get a proc of like 14 and 18 anchors, which definitely increases the gold for all of that. So what I'm probably going to be most likely doing is we're going to jump onto our Inscription character right now. We're just going to see if we need to craft any more glyphs, any more tranquil mines, any of that stuff that we need. When it comes to the trinkets and all that stuff, probably will not be restocking that, because we've still got another 8 of those sunderings on the auction house still. So I will wait till about 5 is on the auction house, and then I'll replenish the trinkets respectively with all of the other ones as well. So that being the case, let's have a gander at how well our TSM is doing for all of that. We have definitely a hell of a lot of stuff. And at the moment, it's really good. It's like 11 gold per war scroll. It's like 30 gold per another war scroll, 41. And the Highborn compendiums are still very, very profitable. Uncanny stuff, I'm actually going to start crafting some more uncanny, because the sell rates have now shot back up for those. So definitely going to be double downing on the ones that I can do, and also the others. So that being the case, let's have a quick gander at all this, because I would like to actually show my thinking kind of on how I would do this. So inscription, glyphs, and my inscription standards. So what is it that we're going to have to invest into this to get a profit? It's going to cost us another 251,000 gold for an 82,000 gold return on that. So that's pretty damn good. It's a little bit under what I usually would go for, but 82,000 gold profit on stuff that actually sell relatively fast. So things like the war scrolls, definitely worth it. The tomes, definitely worth it. All this stuff. I have a group called Make It 1000, and yeah, it's been working really, really well. So we're just going to go into gathering, and we'll see how much we need to get of other different things, because we've saved a load of roseate pigment. We've been mass milling, so let's run to our bank and have a look at what roseate pigments we've got and all that jazz. I'm currently using Worth It's flipping module in order to create cheaper mats for my inscription, and then I can then cross-reference that. So Xenanthin for maroon ink, is it a profit, then yes, I'm going to mill my additional herbs to make more profit on top of that. So if it requires maroon ink, I will do that. Crimson ink is asking for 116,000 crimson pigment, and I don't think we probably have that much. We'll probably have to scale that down in order to produce that much, but it's not a problem. With Dreamleaf, I use this to get my roseate pigments. I sell my sallow pigments if I don't need them, and then with the roseate pigments, I use that to get the higher priced like Lion's ink and all that. So let's go into our bank. We still have around about we still have 1,376 roseate pigments in our bag, and then they cost pretty minimal when it comes to all of this. So let's just jump into this because it's easier to navigate through this. And roseate pigments are 8 gold a piece, and yeah, if I was to actually sell the roseate pigments, I could actually do that, but we're just going to run over to the ink trader, and then we're just going to cross-reference it what we actually need. So we need 3 midnight inks, and they're 33 gold at the moment, and I can then spend 8 gold using my roseate pigments to make cheaper mats. So I find this to be quite easy to produce my mats, and then it would just get rid of it. Lion's ink is the same, 35 gold, we need 6. And then I just keep a load of roseate pigments in so we can actually craft these glyphs for cheaper and then make more profit in total just moving into this overall, because at the end of the day it's worth it. The next thing of note is the crimson pigments, which we don't have, but we can still be able to do all that jazz. Let's just see if they have enough on the auction house to whether I want to make that those 1,000 of war scrolls. So just go into the standard one and crimson pigment and crimson ink. There is not enough on the auction house, so we're definitely going to have to scale that back. Instead of crafting 1,000, we're going to have to craft like about 200, and that will probably be enough for us to do. It's going to cost us roughly, so let's just click that and click that, 57,000 for all that ink. I see that this is really, really common at the moment, and that is that the pigments will cost more than the ink. Basically, just buy the ink, don't buy the pigments unless you really have to. Obviously, the other way around for the inks, the ultramarine ink was reset by someone. It's really easy to reset all this because it won't cost you all that much to reset ultramarine ink. 31,000 to reset that market and then reset it for whatever you want. Aside from that, I would actually go about doing like all of this. If you wanted to reset the pigment, however, 391,000 gold's worth, not worth it to actually do that. But if you actually turned it into the inks, you could probably make a profit, but that would take forever and a day to do. So wouldn't actually do that. So what we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to scale back our TSM. So instead of that, we will have to do that. Not a problem, we'll just have to go into our crafting quickly. Instead of 1,000, we'll just say 200 and then just jump out of this. We will have to change this back, obviously, but 200, it's 61,000 gold investment now for all of these war scrolls for a 24,000 gold return. So the return's even greater on that. So that's not really too hard. That's pretty damn easy to do. The next thing of note is I probably will start scaling up my other tomes of Tranquil Mind and Quiet Mind, because I did 1,000 of the Quiet Mind. I'm probably going to do the Tranquil Mind as well, scale that up as well. So that's not a problem. I'll just craft the 100, then move it over to the 1,000s, and then we'll just go from there. Now that means we need 3,200 crimson ink, and they have 2,380 of that, and then we can just craft the rest using pigments, but we won't buy the pigments off the auction house. We will actually go for worth it, and we'll just go over here into the Riverbud, and Riverbud one is a 854 gold profit on top of that. So then we'll still have more ultramarine ink, we'll have a lot of viridescent ink. That will be really helpful in the long run. So we'll just flip those into the pigments, which then we will turn into the inks, and then we'll produce a cheaper material, so we'll make more profit than what is actually stated on TSM, and then hopefully that will make a... Off the top of my head, it will probably make us an extra additional crimson. It will probably make an extra 10-15,000 gold profit on top of that. Off the top of my head, I don't do the math all that great. I just know it's going to make us a profit, so I just do it. It's not something you should really overthink unless you really wanted to be very thorough with everything. But really, you don't have to be that thorough on all that. So let's just jump into this and go into our alchemy, go to have mats, and we want to have a look at the bag of anchors, because we're going to do our bag of anchors for the day, and we will just send that over. So grab the anchors, grab that in, and then we'll just send that over to Giblet. So that is basically what I'm going to be doing. I am pretty much going to get hold of my crimson pigment. Obviously it's going to take a while, so the video will be exceedingly long, and that is basically how I'm going about doing my inscription at the moment in order to pull a profit and then be able to go into all of that stuff. The bag of anchors, however, I've still got to do that on a load of characters before I have to thingy, and then I can check both of these off, and then I don't have to worry about it till next week. Obviously my weekly farming is not done, so we're gonna have to do that tomorrow. My weekly farming of 3 hours, and that will probably be the 2x4. I'm also looking for people to do a 2x4 tomorrow. I'm intending on doing the golden main one. If not, failing that, we'll just do the pack mule. But aside from all of this, I intend to do a 2x4 farm. And to add on to the end of this, I have worked out, I went through all of last year's data and found out which stuff made us the most gold throughout the Gold Gap Challenge in order to get my Brutosaur. And I thought that that information would be really helpful for some of you actually trying to get a hold of the Brutosaur. So I'm going to turn that into a video because quite a lot of it is actually quite bog standard and actually works really, really well. And now I'm going to start implementing it in order to get this next load. Other than that, guys, have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow.